Whatever you see that's happening at the federal level, you can almost bank on it trickling down to the state level and even further down to your local city, parish, municipal government offices. So when you begin to see there being big cuts taking place, they're not going to stop there. They're going to also begin to go after monies of where maybe there's been overpayments or there's been fraud or abuse. And I say this not just because I'm trying to invoke fear or anything like that. Hi guys, this is Chiquita Robertson, and I wanted to jump on today to share a few tips as it relates to taxes. So I'm gonna try to hurry up because my 2-year-old is taking a very late nap. And so I'm trying to get through this video before she wakes up and come looking for me. So the tip for today as it relates to your taxes is to be honest. Make sure that you're operating with integrity when it comes to your taxes. And I know this is a time of year, and I don't know if people are still doing this, where they are selling dependents, buying dependents, borrowing dependents, if you know what I mean. And you want to make sure that you're operating with integrity as it relates to really every area of your life. You can't compartmentalize these things. You can't say, okay, I want to be truthful and honest over here, but over here, hey, it's more to gain over here. No, you cannot compromise. Make sure that you're operating with integrity as it relates to your taxes. One of the things that I really want to share is, and this has been something that's been on my heart that I really wanted to put out there, especially for married couples. If you are married and you and your spouse live together all year, you cohabitated, you're legally married in every sense of the word, you want to make sure that you are filing together. Now, I know this may not be as advantageous as it potentially could be, but you have to really think about what seeds are you sowing in your marriage when you file taxes separately. You may say, okay, we're together with this, but we're not together with that. This is something I learned years ago watching my parents. They operated with a great deal of integrity when it came to every area of their life, truly living a biblical marriage and filing together. And yes, you may come to a marriage where one spouse may have had some things happening in the past to where it may impact you on your taxes, but you know what? You are one. When you said, I do, you became one and you took on everything that came with that spouse, and vice versa. They took on everything that came with you, the good, the bad, and the not so good or bad. But you want to make sure that you're operating with integrity. Okay, guys? So make sure that when you go to your tax preparer, you bring all your paperwork. Don't say, oh, I can't find that W-2, or, oh, I forgot about that W-2. It wasn't that much anyway. I'm not going to worry about filing it. No, you need all of your W-2s, any income you made for the year, all of your expenses. Make sure that you're going to a reputable tax person, someone who knows what they're doing. And if they don't know, they're not like, well, I'm not sure about that, but let's just move forward. No. Every tax person is not going to know every single thing, but the really good ones will research and do the research necessary. That's why I don't do taxes anymore, because it's a lot of work and I'm a very detail-oriented person and I like doing it right, okay? So you want to make sure that you're going to someone reputable, not just someone who can get you the most back, because if you're a business owner and you're trying to get out of always, you don't want to pay any taxes, that may not be a good choice for you when it's time for you to try to secure funding. If you're wanting to go to the bank to secure funding, they're going to want to see a copy of your tax return as a business owner. And when they look at your tax return and see that you're operating at a loss because you didn't want to pay any taxes, they're not going to lend you any money in many instances, okay? So you have to think through these things. And when you become a business owner, you really need to transition to someone who specializes in doing business taxes. And that really should be maybe a CPA or a degreed accountant who knows what they're doing and they have years of experience in tax preparation. All right. I want to come out and be able to share more of these financial tips with you all. I really had planned on doing a lot more of these in this month. However, time has really gotten away from me. And it feels like there's more work than there is day. So I want to encourage you all to make sure that you're operating with integrity as it relates to your taxes, and make sure that you're bringing all the necessary paperwork to your tax preparer. Make sure that you're going to a tax preparer who operates with integrity, that's knowledgeable, and you're going to know that. And let's make sure, and this is one other thing, and the reason why I'm coming on and really doing this, I want you all to consider everything that's going on. And you can see where a lot of different things are being cut or trying to be cut as it relates to the government, specifically the federal government. But many times, the federal government actually funds specific things that trickles down to the state level. So whatever you see that's happening at the federal level, you can almost bank on it trickling down to the state level and even further down to your local city, parish, municipal government offices. So when you begin to see there being big cuts taking place, they're not going to stop there. They're going to also begin to go after monies of where maybe there's been overpayments or there's been fraud or abuse. And I say this not just because I'm trying to invoke fear or anything like that. You all need to make sure that you're not looking back over your shoulders as it relates to the things that you're taking part in, okay? So make sure that you're operating with integrity. And I also say this because I'm an accountant by trade. Now, I don't do accounting anymore, but I was an auditor. I was the one that was looking at the books and seeing things that happen. And so I can tell you from my own experience, them just making cuts, it's not going to stop there. So I want to encourage you all to make sure that you're operating with integrity as it relates to not just your taxes, but your everyday life, okay? Especially when it comes to your finances. And also make sure that you're filing your taxes. Some people get discouraged, especially those that have businesses and they get so busy and they don't file their taxes. Don't do that, because I'm telling you, you want to file your taxes because you run the risk of the IRS sending you a demand letter or a letter, a notification saying, hey, we noticed you haven't filed taxes. Let me tell you, you don't want to be in a position where the IRS is sending you a letter saying that you owe them a certain sum of money. And typically it's going to be in the thousands, and they're asking for you to send in their money or submit the necessary paperwork. And at that point, you can't move fast enough. So make sure that you're filing your taxes. Make sure as you're filing your taxes, you're operating with integrity. And let's make sure that you're doing things the right way. You have all of your information together and you're submitting it to your tax preparer, and you're working with a tax preparer who knows what they're doing and who also operates with a spirit of integrity. All right, guys, I hope this video has blessed someone, and stay tuned because there's more that's coming. If you have not already, please go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, and know that additional videos are going to be coming out. All right, guys, until next time, you all be blessed.